Today's video about to be juicy, so make sure to go down below and bust it down on the like button and subscribe too, thank you. When KSI announced that he was leaving the Sidemen after more than 13 years, it felt like one of those moments that could completely change the group forever. Because this wasn't just another member, this was KSI. KFC,
gotcha, bitch.
One of the biggest personalities in the group, one of the people that helped make the Sidemen what it is today. He wasn't just there, he was there from the very beginning. Damn. But months later, the answer might have become very clear. They kept going, the uploads continued, and the group adjusted. And somehow, the Sidemen might have solved the KSI problem without even replacing him. Did KSI underestimate how easily the group will move on without him?
Boys, I'm gonna get more subscribers than Sidemen.
Nope.
And I'm also gonna get more views than Sidemen.
What?
So, I've got more views than Sidemen.
To understand why people thought this could seriously hurt the Sidemen, you have to first understand how important KSI was to the group. He wasn't just there for a few years. Bro was there from the very beginning, like day one. More than a decade of videos, challenges, trips, arguments, football matches, and that's why KSI leaving felt much bigger, than normal. It was like removing one piece from something people assumed could only work when every piece worked together. Like, do that make any sense? And even the Sidemen themselves didn't really know what that could look like. There wasn't some perfect plan sitting in a folder called "What to Do if KSI Leaves." No. But after KSI left, something happened that I think surprised a lot of people, even me. There wasn't some massive collapse. The Sidemen didn't stop uploading. They didn't announce that the group was ending. They didn't even immediately rush to tell anybody. Damn! They simply continued. And that matters. Because whenever somebody that important leaves a group, you would expect the absence of that person to become the entire story. But instead, the Sidemen started providing a brand new strong, damn, I can't even get it out, pause. What I'm trying to say is the Sidemen didn't let none of that stop what they had going on. Actually, they started uploading even more. They said, bro, you want to leave? Okay. But that does not mean KSI was not important, because he obviously was. But over the years, the Sidemen had built something bigger than any one person. And that might be the biggest reason they were able to handle his exit. Early in the Sidemen's history, KSI was obviously one of the biggest names connected to the group. He already had a huge audience, his personality brought attention, including me, and there were definitely people who first discovered the Sidemen because of JJ, including me. But eventually something changed. People stopped viewing the group as KSI and the other guys. They started viewing the group as the Sidemen. Harry developed his own massive fan base. Simon had his, Ethan, Toby, Josh, Vic, everybody had their own little fan base. Every member eventually became valuable to the group in their own different way. Even more importantly, the actual format of the Sidemen's videos became recognizable. Good team versus the bad team, cheap versus expensive, holiday videos, challenges, game shows. Those concepts became a part of what people clicked for. So even when one member disappears from a video, the audience was still there. KSI leaving the Sidemen didn't hit the same. Like, I would have thought it was gonna be like detrimental, but really, it wasn't detrimental. It was instrumental.
What?
This is probably the most important part. The Sidemen didn't need to find another KSI, because honestly, trying to replace KSI would actually do the opposite. It would harm the content, in my opinion. Imagine being the person brought into a group after KSI. How awkward. Every video will be compared, every joke will be compared, every reaction will be compared. Fans would constantly ask whether you were better or worse than JJ. That's almost an impossible position. Pause. So instead of trying to recreate KSI, the Sidemen simply operated differently. 6 permanent members, and they added guests when the videos needed more people. That's fire. Different personalities depending on the concept, and suddenly the missing 7th spot became flexible. That's what she said.
Say ooh. Say ooh.
Instead of it being a weakness, that may have made the group stronger. Pause. That being said, there is a difference between surviving without KSI and replacing KSI, because you cannot replace 13 years of chemistry. There are certain moments in the Sidemen videos that only happen because of JJ. The arguments feel natural, the jokes hit differently, they know exactly how to annoy each other, and KSI had a specific kind of energy. He could take a quiet moment and suddenly turn it into the most chaotic thing ever.
Back again. Follow B. Go tell a friend, huh? Welcome, ladies
and that unpredictability became a part of the entertainment. So I don't think the Sidemen are exactly the same without him. They're not. Let's be real. But they do not need him to survive. That hit different. Now, this is where the story gets a little juicy. Pause. KSI left the Sidemen because he wanted more control over his time, right? Less pressure. Pause. More room for personal life and projects. And if leaving gives him that decision may still have been completely right for him. But there's another side to the story. Like I said, it's about to get juicy. The Sidemen can continue without KSI, but KSI cannot recreate the Sidemen. That chemistry took more than a decade to marinate. You cannot build another group tomorrow and expect it to feel the same. Pause. You cannot manufacture that history. So while the Sidemen may have lost one personality, KSI potentially loses an entire environment. Think about it. A place where he didn't always have to be the main attraction. A place where 6 other people could carry parts of the entertainment. I think that is something he might miss more than he expected. KSI has not publicly come out and said, I regret leaving the Sidemen, so I'm not going to pretend he has, but there is a big difference between regretting something and missing something. You can believe a decision was necessary and still miss what you gave up. And that is probably the part that nobody will really know until time passes. Right now, leaving may have felt like freedom, but what happens in 6 months from now or a year? What happens when the Sidemen are filming a massive video and all 6 of the closest friends are there and Jada like, damn, I miss them boys. Maybe, but after 13 years, I find it hard to believe that boy ain't missing them boys. And this is why KSI disappearing from the Sidemen content forever is not guaranteed. He might never return as a full-time member, but I highly doubt that. That part could absolutely be over, but we will never know until he come out and says, yeah, he already did though, he already did that. But the guest appearances, anniversary videos, charity events, huge one-off projects, he could easily have an appearance, because leaving a weekly responsibility is different from completely cutting off the group forever. And if KSI ever does a show-up video, you already know that thumbnail, that title is about to say KSI is back. But if KSI does come back or not, his exit already proved something very important. The Sidemen does not need KSI at all to thrive. Pause. But if you think KSI is going to come back or not, go ahead and know below. Let me know in the comment section. Hit the like button. Show your boy some love. It's been your boy Pure. One love. I'm out. There's those.